The following presentation is brought to you by the Pride of ODU, the official NIL collective of Old Dominion Athletics. Be a monarchist. Join the Pride. Monarch Nation, welcome back. We are the Monarchists. It's me and Aaron again. We have a very special guest, the only quarterback in Old Dominion history to win a bowl game, the last quarterback to lead us to a winning season, the last quarterback to lead us to 10 wins, the man, David Washington. How are we doing today, David?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
Fantastic.
Better now that we get the chance to talk to you.
Let's have some fun, man. Let's have some fun.
All right. Let's start back at the beginning. So, high school ball, you're being recruited by Old Dominion. Talk to us about what those conversations are like and what ultimately sold you on the Monarchs.
Honestly, I wanted to beat Taylor, but that's later on. He had just won the Walter Payton Award. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little cocky, so I was like, "Oh, of all the places that have offered me, I can go there. I can beat him for his job, and then make history doing that." But didn't turn out that way. But I thought I was gonna be like a two-sport athlete. That was kind of what I wanted to do. Coach Z had saw me at a Maryland football camp, and we kind of exchanged information. And then from there, it was just me and Wickham talking most of the time. Every now and then get calls from Coach Z or Coach Wilder and everything like that, but mostly Wickham. And then Wickham came to one of my basketball games, and it was easily my worst basketball game. I fouled out in the first quarter. I was so excited just because, I got a coach coming away. I was excited. I ended up fouling out. And after the game, Wickham was like, "Oh, I'm not worried anymore. You're not going to play two sports." So then, like I said, it was Taylor wanting to beat him out, but if nothing else, wanting to compete with him. And then just the tradition that ODU was beginning to create, starting with Thomas. And then it was just like they were just winning and winning and winning. And I didn't care that it was, a new program. I was like, man, I can go be a part of history, but I can also win. And it wasn't too far from home, far enough that my parents wouldn't just show up randomly, but close enough that they could come and support.
Totally understand that. I went to college at Mary Washington and 2.5 hours away. So you're right. Just far enough away where you're not going to get that unexpected pop in. But
right.
if you need some food, or you need $20 or something like that, they're close enough.
Absolutely.
So when you first arrived, what was your first impression of ODU and ODU football?
It was a fun environment, man. It was fun. It was competitive. And just the whole 7-5 area as a whole. I can't talk about ODU without talking about the entire city of Norfolk, the entire area, like the entire 757. The pride that area has in football is crazy. I came from, the Raleigh area. North Carolina, we're a basketball state. So football kind of came secondhand out here. But when I came to Virginia and came to Norfolk especially, it was like, man, not only was it so many good athletes on the football field, but they knew everybody. They knew everything about everybody, and it was so competitive.
All right. So you get here, and you're redshirted in 2012. Talk to us about what kind of challenges they gave you for that season. What did they want to see from you? Because we know you had a very interesting career where they're pulling you back from between quarterback and wide receiver. I'd love to hear what that red shirt, those challenges were placed at your feet.
Man, I don't know if y'all remember. At the end of my red shirt year, I was 240. I came in at 190. I was 240 by the end of my red shirt year. So you want to talk about challenges? I gained a lot of weight, but I mean, I was still able to move. They talked about moving me to DN. Coach, was it Commish at the time? Was Commish there already? The D-line coach, I think it was Commish. He joked about moving me to DN and all this other stuff. But when he made that joke, that's when I said, okay, something's got to change because I'll switch to another position, but not DN. So that was probably the main challenge. But I mean, the other thing was learning the playbook, just getting used to the speed of it. Man, my first team drill that I had with the guys, I threw a pick six on a hitch to Eric Lewis. Threw it to Eric Lewis on the right side in the practice field. I remember it like it was yesterday. My very first play, I threw a pick six. So just getting used to the speed and just that level of like athleticism that was all around. And then having that O-line be so big, I was like, man, yeah, this is different. My O-line, I think in high school, the heaviest guy was like 250 or 260. So having big David Bourne and DJ Morrell and Josh Mann and all these guys, man, it was like, whew.
So you may have just answered the question I was going to ask, but I'm going to ask it in case there's another moment. I was curious if you remember kind of that welcome to college football moment. Maybe it was a hit, maybe it was a play, maybe something in practice that, you were like, oh, damn, now I'm in college.
I would say either that first play or when we were going to the playoffs and we were playing against Georgia Southern. Of course, I'm still redshirting. Georgia Southern was running a triple option. Well, being a quarterback, I typically have the red jersey on. I'm redshirting. Coach Wilder said, give him a white jersey. So I'm running a triple option offense, and we're full speed. We're live. I want to say we were live every day that week, and it was nonstop. Hitting. It was fun, but I was like, dog, this is crazy.
All right. So you get recruited in 2011, 2012 time period.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, while you're redshirting, we make that decision to move up to FBS, right?
Yes.
So your first year, you're part of that transition year where we have that crazy schedule. We're playing Maryland,
ECU.
we're playing UNC, all of this.
Don't bring up the UNC game, though.
I know. We actually have a rule about talking about that on this show, and I just broke that rule, so I'm sorry. Anyways, so we're going through that transition. What was your kind of feeling about that transition? Obviously, I know you're a competitor, so you probably look at it as an awesome opportunity and great challenge, but I'd love to hear what you think.
I mean, it was what I had been preparing for something like that anyways. When it came to FCS, that was my goal. Wasn't FCS. Like, it was definitely to play D1 football. At the time when I was in high school, I didn't even know that there was the difference between FCS and FBS. So when I ended up playing FCS, I wasn't preparing for FCS. I was preparing for FBS the whole time. So I was all for it. Physically, I wasn't worried about it. It was more of mentally, just especially at quarterback, just being able to process everything fast enough and do what I needed to do each play.
All right. So you mentioned it a little earlier about coming to ODU and being very confident in your abilities and with every intention of playing quarterback. But take us back. There was a conversation at some point that kind of started that move from quarterback to wide receiver. Can you share a little bit about how that went down?
The official conversation was actually really quick because we would do things over the summer, whether it be like 7-on-7 tournaments or just throwing around, or even in the quarterback drills. Catching has always been something that was like came natural to me. And then when Coach Wilder came to me, I remember we went to his office. I think it was just me and him. I'm not sure if Wickham was in there or not, but he asked me, and I was like, yeah, for sure. Just let me know what I need to do. And then left his office, I immediately went to Antonio Vaughn. I called Antonio Vaughn and I was like, bro, we got to hit the field because I got to learn this. I don't think it wasn't a whole lot of time left. But as I saw more and more receivers kind of, getting kicked off the team or transferring or whatever the case may be, I was kind of like, maybe I need to start working a little bit on this because there may be an opportunity for me to get on the field. I was just happy that I was able to get on the field as a receiver, but then I was still the backup quarterback as well. So that was good.
So talk to us about how you had to do that in practice, because I imagine there's times where you got to come in with the second team and run at quarterback, but you're also running with the ones for a receiver.
Yes. Well, I wasn't running with the ones at first. That took some time. It was a lot. It was tiring for sure. Because I could go out and I could run a streak, and then you say two's up, and now I got to go in that quarterback. But me and Colin were splitting those reps at the two position. So sometimes twos would be up and I'd still be in that receiver, or twos would be up and they would give me a break or whatever the case may be. But they did a really good job of making sure that I, didn't tire myself out too bad.
So how different was the preparation and mindset from being a quarterback to a wide receiver?
Oh it was night and day.
Yeah.
And day. Oh my God. Quarterback, I'm sure you guys can imagine. It is, meetings were 2 hours, 2.5 hours long, and it's taking notes and it's doing everything. You go to these receiver meetings. I'm not going to say they were easy, but compared to quarterback, man, I can. I knew what was supposed to be happening, so it went from paying attention to the whole scheme to more of looking at the one player that I will be lined up against more times than not, or just looking at the shell.
All right, so I guess this is your third year here. The year we got to play Vanderbilt and Marshall. You get some playing time at quarterback, but you're also playing receiver. I guess you kind of hinted at it with the meeting answer, but I imagine getting able to play receiver at the Division I level and quarterback, it allowed you to communicate better with your receivers and kind of understand what they're trying to look for. How did that impact you as a quarterback?
It made me way better. Playing receiver, not only did I understand, the biggest thing I think that changed quickly was the short routes. I recognized that you don't have to throw those hard. And it makes a huge difference. Just put it in front of us or put it in front of the receiver and let me catch it, because throwing it hard and getting it to me quick is not helping. First of all, I probably can't see you when you throw it. Second of all, if I don't catch it, nothing good comes from that. So that was probably the biggest change I say that was made. But then I was also able to sit there and really study my guys, because I was studying how to be a receiver from the people that I eventually ended up throwing to. So when it came to Zach, when it came to Travis, Duhart, I had been sitting there studying with them, studying their footwork, studying how they get out of breaks, studying how, when he turns his head, how fast is he able to catch it, all that stuff. Like, I'm studying all that stuff so that when I came to throwing or being a quarterback, it kind of was easy, because I was like, oh, Duhart's doing this. Okay, he may have this extra hitch here. Or Zach, I know as soon as he does this, if he gets out of his break like this, oh, he's good to go. I know Travis, he's better at going up with this hand, better than this hand. So it just made it so much easier because I had been studying all that.
All right, quick follow-up. So quick follow-up to that. So you talked about learning you don't have to throw it as hard on those slants. Are you throwing more to space? Or are you actually looking where they trying to time it? What's the difference between the two, I guess?
You throw to a spot. So you don't do much looking at the actual receiver. And they don't do much looking at you. As a receiver, you want to, a lot of times, especially on a slant, all you need to see is the quarterback release the ball, and it's really easy to find it. But as a quarterback, you're watching the defense. Okay, where did this guy go? Where did this guy go? Okay, I can throw this here. But that's where the timing comes in. And knowing your different receivers. You got some receivers that's going to take a little bit more time on a slant. You had people like Nick England that was going to get real funky with his release. He was going to get open, but he was going to, do some dancing, make a miss. You got guys like Duhart that were going to, use his power to get open. Travis was a little bit quicker. He was a little bit, he had the soccer background, so his footwork is a little bit different. Isaiah Harper, he was going to run the route like exactly how it's supposed to be ran every time. So, it's just knowing the different receivers. And if you're going to throw it, you have to know how each person's going to run it.
That's so interesting. All right, so as we move this conversation along to you taking the reins of quarterback, if I remember correctly, and please correct me if I'm wrong,
I got you.
Taylor's last throw was a touchdown to you, correct?
His last throw at our stadium, yes.
Yes, which seems almost like a passing of the torch.
That's what they say.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
I'm gonna be honest. At the time, I didn't recognize the severity of everything that had happened. Honestly, when I caught the pass and scored, I know it's bad. I didn't know that we had won the game already yet. So I thought we still had to kick a field goal and do all that stuff. I promise I would have celebrated a lot more if I knew that was it. And there's no telling how far I would have thrown that ball if I knew that was the game. But I mean, just looking back, it really was like a passing of the torch. I mean, there was some time with Schuler in there. But if nothing else, it was like a passing of like the leadership torch of like kind of, who people were going to be looking to steady the ship, I guess you could say.
All right. So moving through your career, it's so interesting how much you bounce between those two positions and how it really paid off in 2016. Because you finally get the job, and there's no question you're the quarterback, and you lead us in, you start every single game, and your connection with one receiver was talked about a lot, and his jersey's right behind you.
That's
I mean, they talked about your roommates, best friends, all this, but the connection you guys had was obvious on the field.
Yeah.
How long did that take to develop, or was that just a natural thing between you two?
We came in and redshirted together. We came in and struggled together. We came in and, if I'm being honest, neither one of us were good when we got there. I wasn't really good at quarterback. He came in as more of a DB, so his footwork as far as receiver wasn't really good. So when we came in, it was me, it was Zach, and it was Rashawn Proctor. I'm not sure if you guys remember him. He ended up going to Hampton. And we used to be on the field working because our goal was we wanted to, as a scout team players, we wanted to kill our defense. We wanted to make them look bad. We wanted to give them the best look possible. But at the same time, we wanted to show them like, no, we shouldn't be redshirting. We need to be playing. So that was kind of our mentality. And I mean, we spent it was from freshman year, if I'm being honest. And what you saw senior year, it was just a culmination of everything. Me and Zach, man, we went through a lot. Good times. We fought. We probably got in a few different fist fights over Madden or over basketball, whatever the case may be. We played intramural basketball together. It was a lot of time spent together. Weight room, we was there together. We had a few classes together. So, I mean, it was a lot of time learning each other, spending time with each other, and really like what you saw on the field senior year, it just came from that.
So it might be a moment with Zach. It might not be. But was there a particular game or a particular play that still gives you goosebumps when you think about it?
I mean, there's a few for sure. The Louisiana Tech game, period. That one. I didn't really feel like I was like an out of body experience, I guess you could say. All of it, because it was kind of my first game playing outside receiver, because typically I was like the Y or the inside receiver. So it was my first game playing outside receiver. I mean, there's a few guys that are in the NFL now that was in that defensive back group. It was kind of an out of body experience. The touchdown on the skinny post on the fourth down, broke a couple tackles and got into the end zone, and then the very last play. I wasn't thinking he was going to throw it. Nothing about the shell made me think that he was going to throw it, and then he threw it, and I was like, all right, let me make this guy miss and get what I can get, make something out of it. I made him miss, and then all I saw was green, so I was like, oh, all right, let's go score. That one, the touchdown in the Bahamas Bowl, the bowl game itself, just when we beat Marshall to become bowl eligible, that was probably one of the biggest moments. But the bowl game itself was awesome.
I just want to have a real quick follow up. One of the things that Mike and I like to do a lot is to try to um, educate myself and the fan base that didn't play. Like Mike played, I didn't play, so it seems like I'm learning something all the time.
Mike, what you played, Mike?
D end and receiver.
That's an interesting duo.
I was a big skinny kid, so and I had the speed, and they're like, all you got to do is get around your guy. All you outside contain or hit the running back.
Yeah. Usually receivers don't like to hit though. That's why it's interesting.
Oh well, I'm a little different, I guess. So they asked me one day. They go, "You ever heard of a crack block?" I'm like, "Yes." Show me what you got, and I blew up the linebacker, decleated him. He goes, "I think we got something for you." And he pointed at the DNs to go the D line group and goes, "Run over there." That was it.
D-line is fun, man.
So you almost became one.
I was never gonna do that. Was not gonna happen.
All right. So I need you to educate me a little bit, and our fans. So obviously you had a transition from quarterback to wide receiver, but you were just talking about transitioning from more inside to outside receiver. Talk a little bit about the difference in that and kind of the shift that you had to make, whether physical, mental, all of the above.
So inside, it's more of a cerebral position. It's the position that I was playing. It was more of a cerebral one. So it's like finding the hole in the zone. The people that are guarding you, they're not used to having to guard people. So they're not corners and everything like that. And if they are corners, it's probably a smaller one. So the nickel's probably going to be a smaller guy. But more times than not, you're getting the safety that would rather hit than cover. You're getting the smaller nickel corner, or you're getting, a linebacker or something like that. So it wasn't so much about how your release was like off the line. It was more about you find the hole, you making a catch, and then you making something happen afterwards. Whereas outside, it was 1 yard away from you. You got that corner. It's you and him, especially if it's a man-to-man team. It's you and him. If you don't get open, it's because you didn't do what you were supposed to do to get open. It has nothing to do with the play. It has nothing to do with anything, especially at X. So X is it's the number one receiver, essentially. They give you a route, and they say, you get open. We're not going to scheme you open. You get open. If you don't get open, we'll find a new X that will. So I ended up – that's what I was playing at that Louisiana Tech game. I was kind of switching between both, but when I scored a touchdown, both of them, I was at X. So that's probably the biggest thing is more – when I was telling you the meetings, it was a lot different because it was just more about watching the person that I would be lined up against. When you're outside, that's really all that matters. The rest of the play, not important. It's you and him. How are you going to get open against this guy?
All right. So we've talked a lot about you playing both positions, and I kind of want to make it clear we're doing this because we're very appreciative that you were willing to do whatever it took to get on the field and help us win. Because I imagine for you, if you look back, you're like, if I committed to receiver, if I committed to quarterback, what could have changed for me, right?
I wouldn't change anything, man.
That's what we love to hear, because it would not. I don't think anyone would blame you if you had said, "I wish I'd been able to just devote my time to this position and see where it took me." So yeah, that's very big of you, obviously, but yeah.
It made me a better person. I wouldn't change for 1 second, not at all.
And it kind of started this trend at Old Dominion, because you're not the only quarterback now that has played all other positions. There's Stevie Williams. He played multiple positions. And then obviously the guy for the Chargers started here as a quarterback, and now he's a tight end in the league.
I remember when he was
smart.
when he was about to make that transition. He called me. He was like, "Man, what do I do?" I said, "Go to the receivers, find the one that you trust, find the one that that is doing well, one that you trust is doing well, and get in his pocket." My person that I went to was Antonio Vaughn. If Antonio Vaughn went and lifted, I was right there. If he went to the field, I was right there. If he was doing extra work, I was right there. If it was, release work or whatever the case may be, I was right there. Because not only was he doing well on the field, but he also he possessed the talent that I didn't have. He had speed and agility that I didn't have, and I wanted it. So I went to him.
But I imagine he would like to be your height and weight.
For sure. Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. We fed off each other, but I definitely was there to take from him. I wasn't there for him to learn from me, but I mean, he did, but I was there to take.
All right, so I'm going to follow up on that a little bit. Obviously, you just said you wouldn't change anything. But if you could relive one moment from your ODU career, not to change it, but to relive it, the result, feel it again, what would it be?
To feel it again? The end of every game. I didn't during my playing days, I didn't appreciate my position while I was there. I was always looking for what was next, and the next big thing, and like trying to reach goals. I didn't sit there and soak in how difficult what I was doing, how difficult it was, and how amazing what we as a program were doing, especially the night that we became bowl eligible for the first time. Like I was excited, but I didn't really feel it like I should, because it was expected. I mean, I was a part of, what was it, 10 wins, 11 wins, going to the playoffs, going to the postseason all the time. So the season prior, that was an anomaly to me. So 6 wins was expected. Like, what are we talking about here? So I didn't soak it in and enjoy that like I should. So definitely end of every game and just enjoying it.
All right, so we've been lucky enough to make some friends with some guys that you played with and some guys that were around before you were at Old Dominion, and the fraternity among those guys it's obvious. They care about each other, they love each other. Looking back, how is your group coming along with that? Are still tight as can be, or what are we talking about?
We probably can do better. I mean, I still talk to a few of the guys. I probably talk to Zach the most. But no, I mean, I talk to Zach, I talk to TJ, Miles Fox, I still talk to him a lot. And then a few of the guys that ended up leaving, Sandy. I mean, we are still tight. We probably could do better, though.
All right, so we need to pull the curtain back a little bit for the fans. Do you ever have like a funny moment or an interesting moment that sticks out to you with one of your teammates or a group of teammates that Monarch Nation would get a kick out of?
A funny moment with me, man. I'm
Yeah, with
probably
you
just
you and a teammate or you and in a position group or something that it could have been on a road trip, anything that the folks watching would just kind of smile at or chuckle at.
those lunches during summer workouts was a movie, man. It was 100 and something guys going into the cafeteria, and we're all in there in this large group, and it is ruckus. It is people throwing food at each other. Um, Angus, I don't know if you guys remember Angus Harper, had to be the funniest person I have ever met in my life. Um, he used to hide in the closet in the cafeteria, and he would just jump out and scare people. But it would be different areas that he would hide at and just scare people. And he would have on just the funkiest outfits. He would have on like green and pink and orange and purple and just a bunch of different colors. And he would wear a mask and he would just jump out and scare people. And it was like, how did you get here already? Um, Man, I'm not gonna lie. One time I get out of class and he calls me and he's in like this dark room. And I'm like, I'm like, where are you at? He says, oh, I'm in the closet of your class. I said, what do you mean? He said, I'm in the closet of your class. And as I'm walking out, there's a closet right beside the exit door, and he just jumps out. I'm like, what in the what? How long have you been there?
He's dedicated. That's
Man,
that's at
that's a
least an
funny
hour
movie.
long commitment
I
just
don't know if he
for.
was in there for an hour or 5 minutes or what, but he
That's hilarious. It's interesting that you talk about those big lunches because when we talked with Thomas and he talked about memories
mm,
and kind of life after, he said those were the moments that he missed of having lunch with 64 of your brothers that just don't happen once you leave.
no, not even remotely close. The lunches, the team meetings, the after practice in the locker room. Everybody's dead tired. They're going to the rec center to play basketball. We had three different intramural basketball teams that we played on, and we were competitive. There was the so it's probably my junior or senior year. It was the older guys, and then it was the freshmen, and then there was like the O lineman had a team. So I mean, it was a bunch of trash talking. Um, you don't find there's nowhere to find anything like that, man. Like you take the locker room to so many different places, and you it never happens again. You don't enjoy people that many people like that, and to have that many people have the same goal, to be doing everything the same way, for you to see the work that everybody's putting in, and you know you have a different level of appreciation for the people that are in the cafeteria with you. Um, it was amazing. I miss that so much. The games are fun. Don't get me wrong, but that locker room and cafeteria, yeah, that's different. Or just seeing your guys when you're walking on campus. You walk into campus and then you see, four or five guys running the class because they're late or whatever the case may be. So you just miss it, especially in the summer, because I mean we're really the only people on campus.
All right, so obviously Ballard has changed a lot since you last played at Old Dominion. But we all know that place with the clamshells was rocking. Uh, I know how I felt as a fan to be there when it was rocking. How
Mhm.
did the first time you walked in there and it was sold out? How did that feel on the field?
I'm probably biased, but you can't tell me there's a louder stadium in the country than Ballard. Uh, 20,000, I don't care. I would put it up against whoever you want to. That stadium goes crazy, especially. I don't know if you guys remember that Middle Tennessee game on that Friday night.
That was the one with the streaker, right?
Yes,
We remember.
And the
Oh,
cards,
Canada.
Yes.
And the cards, Aaron. The Conference USA sign when we announced.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That game was. I wish we won that game, but man, unmatched.
I mean, Friday Night Lights. We're playing on Thursday night this week under the lights, national television. Hopefully, we have that same sort of energy. But man, those clamshells, something different about them.
They on national TV now too. That's awesome.
Hey, Mike, I bet you don't miss the knees in your back, though.
I don't remember sitting much at Ballard
Good point.
with the clamshells
That's valid. Yeah.
because of guys like David and Taylor and Thomas kept us on our feet cheering all game.
Man, that brought us life, man. There's so many times where, I would throw the ball and I'd get hit, and I would just wait to hear what the crowd say, so I know if something good happened or not.
Like you're laying down on your back, just looking
Yeah.
straight up.
Yeah. What happened?
That's got to be a pretty cool feeling. So, I mean, when you look back at your time as a Monarch, what are you most proud of, both on the field and off the field?
On the field, that I was a part of a team that continued to make history. I was a part of a stepping stone that Thomas, Taylor, Schuler, and then myself, I was a part of that stepping stone to just I kept the trajectory going up. Hitting the bowl game. Yeah, I know I was the first one, but I have no doubt that, if Taylor was in my position, he'd be able to do that too. Same thing with DeMarco. So it was just about timing. But being the first and currently the only one to do it, that's a good feeling too. That 2016 team is really, really impressive. Really holds true in my heart. And then off the field, man, just everything that we were doing with the Human for Humanity or Kids for Humanity thing, and really taking steps to make things happen in the community, partnering with the police department around that time, and really coming together as a team and as a city to fight for a change.
All right. So you talked about that Louisiana Tech game. You had 8 catches, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns. Obviously, you know what it's like to just be in the zone. But think about you as a quarterback. The game I think of when you were truly in the zone is down in Boca against Florida Atlantic.
Oh, yeah.
You were just dealing that day. Talk to us about what it's like to get into that zone, and do you realize you're in it when you're in it?
No, absolutely not. You don't realize you're in it. Not only that, you don't realize how good things are going until you look later on and like, oh man, we were killing. I know you say that it felt like I was dealing in that game. While the game was happening, I didn't feel like I was doing that well. Because it was a bunch of short passes, a bunch of short little out routes and things like that. There was the long ball to Zach, and I think I had one to Travis as well, but it didn't feel like it was as good as it ended up being. But I mean, maybe that's a part of it.
You had Zach with 9 catches for 178 yards. You had Duhart with 8 for 72. And you had Jeremy Cox with 1 for 84.
He ran that boy over.
Bonkers numbers.
He liked to run guys over.
Oh man, Jeremy was something special, man.
I just continue to see like him trucking that Virginia Tech guy over and over in my head.
Man.
High stepping, kind of like high knees, just
Think about that, how
So
good
excited.
that backfield was.
Oh my
David
God.
could
Hey,
move.
Jeremy.
You could move. You had Jeremy, who was obviously a bowling ball on legs, And then you had Ray Lowry, who was just everything you want in a running back.
He couldn't get tackled. I used to just watch people bounce off of him. And I was just like, how is that happening? Man, that backfield was fun though. Both of those guys, they were strong, fast, and they were smart. So that made it a lot easier. They made my job a lot easier. Um, Especially on like a lot of the read options and everything like that, especially like after I got hurt. Um, I knew for the most part, I couldn't go wrong handing it off to Ray. Even if the DN did crash, if I hand it off to Ray, there's a good chance he can make him miss. So it was fun.
And then we're talking about the backfield. You got 3 NFL receivers on that team.
For sure. Probably should have been more than that. But, because Melvin Vaughn, another one.
And I think we're talking to another one that probably should have gotten a real legit shot.
Hey, man. That's not what my life ended up, man. That's all right. I don't disagree, but,
Okay. How do you hope that Old Dominion fans remember you by?
Versatile, willing to do whatever it took to win. We'll make sure that we won. Leader, friendly, knucklehead a little bit. I had a problem with going down for a little while, so
You're like the consummate team player.
yeah.
We've talked to guys, like what we like to do sometimes is we have somebody on and we say, hey, like we talk to Jared Brown or Jonathan Plisco, one of these guys, and say, hey, who would be good to have on? And there was like zero hesitation of having you on, and they just couldn't stop talking about how good of a guy you are, how funny you are, like just an all around good human being. I don't know if you realize how not only fans but your fellow players and students, see you as well.
I hope so, man. People used to say to me all the time, how are you our quarterback? Off the field, in the locker room, you couldn't tell that I was a quarterback. Because I'm not at all like the sit down and just watch people. No, I'm in the mix. I'm having a good time. I'm dunking on people. I'm doing all types of crazy stuff. Slapping people with the wet towel, all that stuff. Like I'm having fun. I'm here for a good time. I don't want to be boring and no. Let's have fun. Let's keep it light. Now, as long as we winning, let's keep it light. If stuff start getting rocky, then no, we got to reel it in. But let's keep it light.
All right. So this might seem like a weird way to go here, but I feel like we kind of glossed over it. Obviously, you were being pushed between receiver and quarterback after Taylor had left.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask most fans, once they saw you play quarterback, like, why wasn't he starting from day one? So I wonder, what kind of conversations did you have with Bobby and Witt and Brian Scott where they said, we need you more at receiver right now?
So that the first 4 games,
Yeah.
I got moved to the X receiver, so I was essentially going into the season as the number 1 guy. I had worked my butt off. I had trained with I had a personal trainer I was out there in Norfolk training with. I had worked my butt off, and everything was going good. And in that first game, I twisted my ankle, and it, things got shaky and ended up missing games for different injuries. The ankle, then I had the concussion. So there wasn't a whole lot of, like, once the season started, there wasn't a whole lot of conversation about like, oh, we need to do this or this. But once the offense kind of started to stagger a little bit, which, I mean, most offenses would do, missing a key player. When I had the concussion against Marshall and I couldn't travel and I watched the game on TV, it really brightened. It became clear to me. Not that Schuler was bad or Schuler wasn't, doing what he was supposed to do, but I saw where I was needed. So I moved myself in position to kind of show them that, okay, if you guys want to do this, let's do this. I didn't go to them and say, do this. But I moved myself in position where, whether it was practice or whatever the case may be, that they would see like, okay, if you guys want to make this change, let's go ahead and do it.
Okay, I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Thomas a few weeks back. So, a conversation that we had earlier this year with Brian Jensen, a former offensive lineman for Old Dominion in the early days. Brian had this conversation with us about there needs to be an offensive lineman in the Hall of Fame at ODU. And Mike and I, we love the O-line position. I mean, obviously, Mike, long before me, but I've been convinced just because they seem to be very cerebral. They're funny, lots of different reasons. Anyways, I'm not asking you to pick a person, but if you were going to make the case, if you were like that attorney making the case on why the next football Hall of Famer should be an offensive lineman, what would it be?
It would be the whole group. Taylor's junior year, I believe that was. DJ was still there, right? His junior year. That group, and then my senior year group. One of those two groups for sure. But if I can't do a whole group, let me get either Josh or Nick, one of my centers, because they make the whole ship go.
It would be cool to see them go in as a unit.
That would be pretty sweet.
For sure.
All right. So, David, we want to thank you so much for joining us today. Talk to us about what you're up to these days. How's life? What's your family situation like? Tell us about David in 2025.
Life is good, man. I got a daughter. She's 7 years old. Coaching her soccer team now. So I've gotten to coaching. Coaching 7-year-old girls is interesting. With my football background, I don't know a whole lot about soccer, but I've started watching soccer now. So this season was fun. It was my first year being a head coach. I didn't realize how much went into it. I knew it was a lot, but I didn't realize how much went into it, especially at just the rec level. It was a lot. But yeah, so I have a 7-year-old daughter. And I mean, that's my world, man. That's my heart.
That's awesome. You got to pull Travis in, right? I mean, he played soccer.
Yeah, I need to. I need to. I called him one time, and he told me some things, and I was like, man, that's way too advanced. These girls are still learning how to kick the ball and and run after it.
All right, David. Aaron's asked this question before, and I know it's going to be different for everybody, but if you had a chance to talk to the freshmen coming into next year for Old Dominion football, what advice would you give them? Now, I say all that because I know some kids think they're smarter than anyone they're talking to, and they might not be open to any advice from a former player. But I'd love to hear what your advice to them would be.
Oh man, for one, you don't know what you don't know. So going off of what you just said, listen, take in the lessons that the different people that they bring in to talk to the team. Really listen to what they're saying and pay attention to it. You never know where life is going to take you. So network. You're in college. College is not just about going to class and everything like that. You need a network. Find a group of people that, that's not just in athletics, that that are trying to go somewhere, that are doing something with their life. And then for real, man, have fun. College is probably gonna be the best time of your life. Don't get me wrong, I've had a lot of fun outside and after college. But you're never gonna be able to live like that again. These bills are crazy, man. Being an adult is not not as fun as being in college, and your parents are paying for things, and so you got the benefit of parents paying for things, but then you also got the freedom that you didn't have when you were at home. So have fun, enjoy yourself, don't get in trouble. And then I did watch Thomas recognize that eyes are on you. And when I say they are on you, they are on you. And I'm not just talking about outside of the facility. Eyes are on you inside the facility. They're watching everything that you do at all times. I got former teammates that'll say stuff to me and they're like, "Hey, Dave, you remember when you did this?" And I'm like, "Man, no, I don't remember that." And I'm a little bit embarrassed that you're bringing that up. They're like, "Yeah, but I learned this from it." And it was like, "I'm glad you learned that, but woo, well, that was embarrassing." So
You'd be like, Angus, you remember that time you jumped out of the closet?
yeah. Well, no, I tell him about that all the time. he knows he's crazy. But yeah, people are watching you all the time. You never know. In the city, as athletes, man, we got to grow up fast. Although people don't see our face on the football team, when you're wearing that ODU football, you're looked at different. And if you don't think you are, you're lying to yourself. Pay attention to that. That good and bad comes from that. So don't take advantage of it, because in an instant, it can be gone. I've seen too many teammates get kicked off the team. I've seen too many teammates, not make it. Too many people not reach their potential because of off the field stuff. So don't take it for granted.
All right. I'm gonna ask my last question. We could go all night long, but
I'm
obviously
here, man.
we don't.
I got time.
We will save it for a part 2. We got to have you come back. Obviously when you played, just like Thomas and Taylor, uh, things were different. NIL wasn't a thing. Like you couldn't go to lunch with anyone. You had to be careful just talking to people. If you had NIL back then, who would have been like the perfect fit for you? A business that you could represent? Like what would have been your ideal NIL deal for David Washington?
Ideal? I'm not sure, man. I'm big on probably Del Vecchios, the restaurant across the street from the stadium. I used to go there all the time. That's actually why I ended up being 240, by the way. But yeah, man, I went there all the time. But really, I think personally, and this is my confidence, but I think any company that would have had me as their representative, they would have been really happy with my personality, and then I just love having fun. So, but definitely Del Vecchios.
Well, after this, we may need to talk about hiring you as our spokesperson.
For the podcast,
We could use one. We could use one, Aaron.
I got you.
We could. I mean, that would have been a heck of a compelling pitch too. As you could have been like, look, I went from 190 to 240
To
in less
200.
than a year on your pizza. If you're
No,
trying to get big, you're
it
trying
was
to.
it was the wings and bacon cheese fries, man. Oh, that's a heck of a combo.
The wings weren't the bad part. It was the cheese
Bacon cheese
fries.
fries. I know it. I know what it was.
I was going to ask you what the move was there, because I'm a big fan of Del Vex to this day. That's why I'm still a big thick boy.
The worst part is
Yeah.
they were open till like 2 or 3 a.m. That's where it got me. They were open till 2 or 3 a.m. and I was living not too far, so it was really easy to get there. And the prices weren't crazy, so yeah, I was crushing.
No, and they've still managed to keep their prices pretty reasonable despite all the stuff that's going on with pricing.
Do they still have the dollar slices?
Yeah, on Wednesdays, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Delvex is still Delvex to the kids.
Oh, I love it. That's great.
Shoot, if Delvex wants to sponsor our podcast, you guys could do that too.
That's the
There
thing,
you go.
Aaron. When you're a business like them where it's just smoothly operated and
You
you're not trying
you
to
don't
price
need to do
gouge.
anything else. Yeah.
Yeah. Just make
Yeah.
good food and charge a decent price, you're good.
I
Good
mean, we're not
service
we're not
too.
above it though, but you're right.
They always
Right.
have good service too. So
Absolutely. And it's because we got Monarchs behind the register.
there you go.
All right, David. I really do want to thank you so much for joining us today. You talked about the things you want to be remembered as, and I think you nailed all of them. We didn't know you as a knucklehead when you were here. Me and Aaron didn't, but we can see you got a good sense of humor now. We knew you were a great competitor and a good teammate just because of what you were willing to do to get on the field. So thank you for all you did for Old Dominion, and thank you for taking the time out to talk with us today.
Thank y'all for having me, man. I had fun.
Absolutely. And the next time that you're up our way to come watch a football game, you need to let us know. We'll make sure to take care of you.
I got you. Y'all got a tailgate spot?
Of course. We got like 6.
You got a mic? You got a mic?
A mic is a microphone, or a mic is a mic over there.
A microphone. A microphone. I'm gonna come sing on the
We-
microphone for you.
Ooh,
We could set that up. I got
Yeah.
friends with PAs.
that's
Get a little
right.
karaoke going.
Hey.
Yeah.
I think what we need to do is when we know you're coming up, we may just have to put together an event at Afterglow, and then we'll have that all set up.
Little karaoke night. Oh, I had a party.
Karaoke with David Washington.
Come on, man.
Dude,
We'd sell a lot of tickets to that.
yeah,
Come
we
on,
would.
man.
We could raise some money. For
on,
ODAF.
Hey, or whatever charity David wants us to.
Okay.
I can't sing,
Yeah.
but I will sing.
Hey, that's the best kind.
There's a video rolling around somewhere of me. I sung for the 1 minute drill. Ooh.
Oh. I'm
I'm
gonna have
gonna
to
look
check
for
that
that.
out. That's right.
All right, David. We really do
All right,
appreciate
man.
it.
Thank y'all.
Go Monarchs.
Go Monarchs.
Go Monarchs.